And now it's time to get a unique slant on current events from your favorite half-Asian couple. Get ready to know what's happening in the world today with your hosts, Shaine and Nico.
What's happening? This is the very first episode of our brand new podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm Shaine.
And I'm Nico, and Shaine is yelling even though I told him not to.
Sorry, I can't help it. She told me to use my inside voice, but...
What are you, like 5?
I know, it's like, what the hell? Anyway, so yes, we're doing this podcast as, I guess, sort of replacing our live streams on YouTube.
Yeah, the live streams got very, it kind of clogged up our schedule, like trying to live a normal life. And streaming kind of, I mean, like, who wants to watch a replay of a live stream? Because, well, first of all, when there's video and you're trying to listen to it at work or something, then you can't even see the video. And a lot of people requested that we would do a podcast instead of a live stream. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're about, a year late because people were telling us to do this a while ago. And now we're just starting it.
Yeah, and I think it would be more organized this way for everyone because you can just listen to this when you're, like, in the car or something. You don't have to watch the video and have YouTube up or pay for like premium YouTube to be able to do other things while you're listening to it. So
this isn't going to 100% replace the live streams. We're just not going to be doing nowhere near as many live streams as we're doing.
Maybe like one a year, you know?
Yeah, maybe. But we are going to be still doing YouTube videos, so that's not going away. But we do want to kind of get this podcast up and running. So again, hopefully we'll make it somewhat enjoyable for you. But yeah, you want to kind of explain what the podcast is going to be?
No, I don't.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. Sorry. This podcast will cover, current events, obviously, but we're going to go more broad on our topics so that we can have episodes that are more about things that will be relevant in like a couple years and not just like a week, because the news cycle, I don't know about you, but I feel like if you miss one day on Twitter, then you're behind.
Yeah, especially in this day and age. Oof.
Yep, just like this podcast episode will be irrelevant by the time you hear it.
It'd just be funny, like last year or something, or I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that went completely nowhere. I'm sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
Uh-oh, he's starting to ramble. That's because he's thinking about people listening to it. He can't talk like a normal person like he does when we're sitting at the dinner table.
Yeah, well, why would you embarrass me like that? Anyway, so yeah,
right,
so
you
this
can cut it out. Cut that part out.
So this podcast is gonna, like she was saying, talk about some more broader issues. Basically, talk about current events, maybe some pop culture stuff in there, and we're also going to be interviewing some guests, like with our live streams, but
not as. It's not going to be like every episode. Like, you know how when we did. If you're familiar with our live streams, we pretty much only did a live stream when we're interviewing someone. So in that sense, people kind of tuned in, I guess, more to hear the guest rather than us. But this time, now you're going to have to listen to us talk.
That's right. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, hopefully he'll use his indoor voice.
Yes, I'm going to use
so he doesn't blast out your ears.
I'm going to use my indoor voice. And now I'm using my indoor voice. How about that?
So there will be segments in our show to kind of keep it more organized. There'll be a main section. What do you call it? A main topic?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like a top news story.
Well, not really, but
okay,
there'll be a main topic, and then we'll have other sections where we talk about other stuff. But we're gonna try to keep it relatively short, like compared to the live streams.
Yeah, and then when we do have guests, we'll only talk to the guest about that specific topic. So if we want, if we bring in someone about, for example, the Russian collusion, quote unquote thing, then we'll have someone talk about that for 5-10 minutes, however long we want to talk to them. And then we'll get right back into just us talking about, our unique slant
on current events.
That's right.
Now it's time for... That sounds disgusting.
And before we get started, you can buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/HAPAsupremacy or on Patreon at patreon.com/HAPAsupremacy. Or you can donate to our PayPal at paypal.me/HAPAsupremacy. Or you can buy a t-shirt and other merchandise at teespring.com/stores/HAPAsupremacy.
You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Petite Nikoko. And you can follow Shaine at Shaine Scalf. Also, you can support us by subscribing to our channel on YouTube at youtube.com/c/HAPAsupremacy. All of the links for all the things we discussed will be in the description.
So we're going to talk about the yellow vest protests that were happening in France and some other countries too, like Iraq. What are some other countries that they were starting to do it in?
I think it was Holland and Belgium.
It's only a matter
Iraq
of time.
Is like that's the most random one,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, well, like I was going to say, it's only a matter of time until America started doing it.
It will be like World War III, but instead of like the countries fighting against each other, it will just be the people all against their governments.
Yep. And I learned something. I never knew this, but apparently it's a requirement by law in France, right, to have 2 yellow vests in your vehicle.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. It's crazy. Could you imagine here in America, you have to have 2 vests,
What if
yellow
they pull
color.
you over and like you don't have a yellow vest in your car? And
Sir,
you
let
get
me
a
look in.
ticket?
Sir, I gotta look in your trunk, or make sure you have your 2 yellow vests. Oh, sir, I can only afford 1. Sorry, sir, you're gonna have to step out of your vehicle. But, sir.
I don't know. Maybe they get it for free with their tax. Maybe it's a public service. Everyone gets 2 yellow vests.
Hey, there you go. Because apparently it's a thing where when you're at night, you have to wear them when you're walking at night, right? It's a requirement or something like
When
that.
you're at night.
When you're at night. I don't know.
Yeah.
So some people were saying that these protests started because of Macron trying to start, increase the fuel tax or something like that?
Yeah, in order to be in compliant with, what is it, is it the UN?
Something like that, yeah.
Basically, to stop climate change, raise the fuel tax so that, you encourage people to have other means of getting around instead of using fuel. But that doesn't really work when it's when you're imposing that tax on the rural working class who rely on that, And that's why this protest is different than all the other protesting that goes on in France, because a lot of the people who are protesting are from the rural areas, and that doesn't happen a lot.
But now there's other reasons too that it's going on. For example, people just don't like Macron, so they want him out. But those are the 2 that I know of for sure, about the taxes and about just Macron in general. People don't like him.
They had a list of demands that they wanted. I mean, first of all, this protest was not organized in the beginning. It was everybody was independently doing this.
Right.
And came into the cities to do this. Then they started organizing on social media. Then there was a couple of articles that came out saying that the reason why the protests are happening is because of social media, which is dumb. Yeah, Russian bots organized the yellow vests.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, it's the Russians again because, they collude in everything.
Has anything to do with Facebook? Russian collusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, anyway, so after they had organized themselves, a bunch of different groups who were against Macron, most of it was stemming from the gas tax in the beginning, but it just grew into another movement. But yeah, so they all kind of came together to do this protest. So you'd see people from the far left who hate Macron because he's an elitist.
Yeah.
And then you also have people on the right who feel like they're forgotten. They're the forgotten majority out in the rural areas.
Which is another reason that Trump became president, is because, he, I guess, spoke to the forgotten majority or whatever.
In America, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so there was a list of demands posted on social media, but it's in French, and I can't read French, and some people have translated some of it. The one that I remember that other people in America were criticizing was one of the things that they want the progressive tax back. I think Macron had changed the tax structure so that the gas tax would pay for more.
Well, apparently it worked because he did stop the increase, and at first he was going to just delay it, but then he completely just stopped it because of the protests were getting so bad, vehicles burning, people getting hurt. I mean, people literally losing hands and eyes because the protests are so crazy and violent. It's ridiculous.
The weird thing is the mainstream media isn't covering a lot of that. There's a lot of alternative news networks or individual people putting up video of people's hand blowing up,
Mm-hmm.
or someone got hit and their eye spurted blood. It was disgusting. Like, some of that stuff is really graphic, but now you made me detract from my original point. Now now I remember.
Sorry.
Yeah, so one of the things they really want is a progressive tax that taxes the rich even more to pay. Like, they're not. It's one thing that I guess libertarians are getting, or are skewing in their reporting of this, is they're not. Well, I guess they're not. It's not the reporters who are saying that. It's people online are championing. How do you say that word?
Championing.
Yeah, championing. Libertarians are championing the protest of tax, but actually the French people want to tax the rich more, so they're not really opposed to tax, they just are opposed to them being taxed because they're in the working class.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say.
There
And then we
you go.
got really off track. Now I understand why when Dave Smith does his podcast,
He just goes on a complete tangent.
yeah, he's like trying to make one point, and then it takes like 20 minutes to make one point, and I'm like, dude, you need to be more focused. But
Yeah,
now I kind of understand.
Yeah, it's funny too because I'll be listening to it and then he's getting really into the topic and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to know more about what he's trying to say and his opinion on it, and then he goes on to complete something else and I'm like, no man, come on, go back to the thing. I want to hear what you have to say about that topic, not this topic.
I know.
So anything else you want to add to this protest? Because it seems like these protests aren't going to end anytime soon. I'm sure in a week, 2 weeks.
Well,
I mean, might even be here in the next 3 months or whatever. That we'll still be talking about it.
Well, I saw a lot of people saying that now the main goal is to have Macron step down. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen or if the protests are going to die down before that happens. But on December 8th in France, there were, like, worse protests, and that's where most of the violence started happening even more. I know someone got killed the past Thursday, but anyway, so I know that they were calling it Phase 4, so it's getting more violent.
Did they say how many phases there are going to be?
I think that's the last phase.
Really? The last phase is trying to get Macron to step down? Or just
Yeah,
in terms
and I mean,
of what
his
they're going to do
approval rating-
protesting?
What?
Just in terms of what they're going to be doing protesting-wise?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, his approval rating?
The last I saw it was 18%.
Wow, that's terrible.
I know. And it's just funny because a lot of people are bringing that up on social media. Like, when Obama endorsed Macron.
Oh yeah, I was just going to mention
Yeah.
that. Yep.
And it's like, wow, that ended up really well.
Yeah,
that was a great idea.
Yeah, he was saying how all these reasons as to why people want Macron as, president over there, and now look what's happening. Hardly anybody wants him there,
Yeah, I mean, probably the only people who want him there are, like, I don't know, the neoliberals, elitist.
People in his cabinet.
Yeah.
I like Macron, he's pretty good.
I mean, even most of, like, the far left, and I mean, France is already pretty far left, but
yeah,
they don't even like him. And they didn't like him from the beginning.
it's kind of funny too because looking back when he did win the election there, and everyone not everyone, but a lot of people on Twitter were like celebrating, like, oh my god, I can't believe he won, because he beat that Le Pen lady, and that hardly anybody liked her, at least on that side. And now it seems like maybe they, I don't know, maybe I'm completely off, but maybe they would actually prefer her now than him, which is crazy to think, but.
Yeah, some people on the right are saying that this is also about globalism and immigration. I'm not really sure if that's true, because there's a lot of articles and other people saying that, like, not mentioning that part.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is, then yeah, I guess that her winning would have made a difference.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm sure they'd be protesting about something when she was in office. So, I mean,
The
people.
French are always protesting about something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. I mean, nowadays with Donald Trump as president, I mean, people are protesting about something.
Yeah, but we're less. I don't know. It seems a little bit less violent here, even though with the Antifa stuff going on.
That's true.
Maybe it just has to escalate more. I don't know. Maybe we'll be out in the streets protesting with yellow vests on soon. I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. So the next topic that we're going to be covering is Kevin Hart steps down as Oscar host. Now, I don't know. If you had asked me 5 years ago, I would have cared, but I really don't. But it's funny, too, about this because people were wanting him to step down because of what some anti-gay tweets that he had or something like that.
Yeah, he had some offensive tweets from 9 years ago.
Yeah, so a lot of people were either, for it or against it. Some of the people that I thought had some interesting takes was Nick Cannon. He tweeted out some tweets from Sarah Silverman, Amy Schumer, and Chelsea Handler when they were using the F word. And you'll know where I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it here. But he tweeted out quoted them and said, how come there wasn't any backlash about this? Or, I was a huge fan of this movie, that this person was in. It's just kind of interesting how, some people look at it one way, but when it's someone else, no one really cares.
I think it depends on who's getting the most success, because that's what it seems like,
Yeah, and
these things surface whenever someone is about to do something that's, like, prominent. I mean, Kevin Hart was about to... What was he going to do? He was going to host the
Oscars.
Sorry, I never watched these things, so I don't even know what they are. I mean, I know what they are, but, like, I've never seriously sat down and watched them.
Well, here's another interesting part about this whole thing is that Kevin Hart had done a video. I think it was on Instagram, but I can't remember exactly where it was.
Instagram.
It was Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, so he basically said, I'm not going to apologize for my tweets that I did. But he did his whole video about why I'm not going to apologize and everything. And so in this Variety article, he's quoted as saying, my team calls me, oh my God, Kevin, everyone's upset by tweets you did years ago. Guys, I'm nearly 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify the past, do you. I'm the wrong guy, man.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if this is mentioned a lot, but he apologized for those in an interview in 2015. And also, you gotta remember, like, the culture has changed in 10 years. So, a lot of the things that were acceptable back then are not acceptable back now.
Back now.
Are not acceptable now.
Right.
So.
Well, then it's funny, too, because, when he said, I chose to pass on the apology, and then he kind of gives his reasons as to why he didn't apologize. Well, shortly after, like 30 minutes later or so, he tweeted out an apology. So, he caved in quick.
I feel like that is like an admission of guilt, like that he didn't change or something, like now you got to keep apologizing for the rest of your life for something that you tweeted out 9 years ago.
Well, here's the thing. People are taking words way worse than action. And I know some people have gotten in trouble for actions that they've done, such as Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., and Bill Cosby, and, the list goes on and on. But people are also getting treated terribly because of things they tweeted out or just said out, out of the clear blue sky or whatever. So now everyone's getting in trouble. So now you basically have to keep your mouth shut. Tape your mouth. Don't say a word because you might get in trouble for saying something that you didn't mean or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember our video on James Gunn, but it's the same situation. Those tweets were not really that great. They probably shouldn't have tweeted them, but, like, back then that was kind of how he was, right?
And a similar situation happened with that Heisman Trophy winner, where some tweets of his were being...
That was just today, actually. And he apologized saying, I'm sorry for the things I said when I was 14. It's like, oh my God, like, you were a kid when you were 14. Why does he have to apologize?
Right. But, he has to keep his image up because I'm sure if he didn't apologize, then the NFL probably wouldn't have drafted him or, any of those teams in there. So, I don't know. Maybe he did that just for an image. Maybe he knew that his prospects were pretty high, and if he didn't do it,
it's
then...
PR, so...
Yeah. So,
what if we get famous for some reason? I don't know why we'd get famous, but what if we got famous and then, like, people dug up our tweets? I'd be screwed. I talk about murder a lot. Knives, massive vaginas, all that sort of stuff.
How dare you?
I know. Oh, and once there was this weird piece of clothing that was being sold by Asus, and some guy was wearing it, and I told everyone, even if you're a gay guy, you shouldn't wear this. So maybe that could be,
Did you make a gay joke?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, a gay guy should know how to dress.
Well, aren't they supposed to be known for that kind of thing?
I guess it's like stereotyping. I mean, if I met a gay guy who didn't know how to dress, I'd be kind of like, "Are you really gay?"
Okay.
Oh, now we're gonna get kicked off of iTunes.
I know,
First
right?
podcast.
So, what do you think about all of this? Do you think that people should be fired because of things they've tweeted 5 years ago, 10 years ago? I mean, for me personally, I don't know. It's tweets. I mean, if you're literally saying that someone should die and you're threatening their life, or, you tweet out someone's address or doxing someone basically, then I guess I can understand that. But if it's just some tweets that you said 5-10 years ago, I don't know what the problem is. I mean, hell, if anything, they could have made a joke about it on the Oscars show. They could have, he could have made fun of himself for that thing. I mean, what a waste of an opportunity to make jokes about yourself,
He also could have apologized again. I mean, if he really wanted to apologize, then because I mean, like, apologizing in a tweet, like, really? And then apologizing for something you already apologized for? If he wanted to, he could have went up on stage and told people that he's not going to apologize because he already apologized in 2015. And also he could have explained how he's a changed man or whatever he wanted to say regarding that subject.
And people have to also remember that Seth MacFarlane was the host of the Oscars, and he made a joke, well, actually a song, basically saying, we saw your boobs. That was the name of the song, We Saw Your Boobs.
Oh my god, can you imagine that happening during the Me Too movement? That would
I know.
have been so bad.
I know, exactly. So does he have to apologize for that song?
Yes, I want a public apology right now.
We're going to tweet at him.
You sound like a chicken.
My voice cracked.
Well, my opinion on the whole thing is that it's dumb to judge people off of tweets that they did years ago. Because, I mean, like, people say stupid shit online all the time when they're younger. And, like, especially now, because a lot of the stuff that they said online a couple years ago, they didn't really know that social media would evolve into what it is today. Like, people use that now as, like, a baseline to judge you. Like, when you apply for a job, probably, if it's a serious job, the employer will Google your name and see if they can find your social media accounts.
Hell, at this point, the only people who are going to be on Twitter is Jack, and that's it. Jack said something apparently.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if Jack's even going to be on Twitter.
His own company's going to fire him. I mean, Papa John's, it happened to him, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the tweets yourself. People have been circulating it. He made a joke about a transvestite, I think.
Oof, how dare you.
In 2006. But, if we're gonna talk about, like, there's going to be no limits on when we go back and check your social media to see if you said anything, then 2006 is not within scope.
Yep, that is true.
And also, let me just point out something. If you have to go back like 10 years to find something offensive that someone said, don't you think you're just fishing for trouble?
Yeah, it is kind of stupid. Like anytime someone gets a job like that, and then people are like, oh, I gotta see what he tweeted. Make it look thin. And then they find something. See, he says something bad. Here we go.
I mean, also, like, to find that, you'd have to type in, like, his username, and then plus, like, buzzwords that you think would be offensive to try to find those tweets. So it's like, now you're literally looking for trouble.
Yeah, and they put in those bad words. So who's the one that's thinking about it? The person searching for it.
Yep.
You're the one that's evil.
Okay, do you want to move on?
Okay.
Normally we would do our own, what are they called?
Like our own segment?
Yeah. Normally we do our own segment, but this week, since it's our first time, guys. We're going to do the segments together.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I mean, yours is about ranting, so maybe you can do yours by yourself, but he's gonna hold my hand and do this segment with me.
Okay.
About weird news.
Weird news.
Yeah, Nico finds weird news. Basically my Twitter feed.
Yep, small talk with Nico.
Small talk.
There you go. But before we move on, this episode is sponsored by Libertarian Country for all of your political merchandise needs. If you want to get a t-shirt, a beer cozy,
books or mugs,
bottle openers, bumper stickers,
mouse pads, and tote bags,
and a bunch of other really cool stuff. So, use our promo code HAPA, that's HAPA, all caps, for 10% off your order at checkout. Again, HAPA for 10% off your order.
Okay. So our first headline today of weird news. Nun accused of embezzling $500,000 from Catholic school to gamble in Las Vegas.
Ooh. She needed to have fun somehow. I mean, she's not having sex, so she's got to do something.
Yeah, apparently they had been doing this for, like, 2 nuns had been embezzling money. I think it's tuition fees, yeah. Tuition fees and donations for 10 years. And using the money to go to Vegas and gamble. Not very, I don't know, not very Christian of them.
Nope, it's not. Now they're just going to give Christianity a bad name.
I don't know. It seems to always be in Catholic stuff. I mean, nothing against Catholics, but why is it always the scandals in Catholic churches?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the media, I guess, props them up. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea why, but...
Could also be because of how strict things are. When
Yeah,
people
that too.
come out with this stuff, then people are, like, really surprised.
So did they win any money when they were gambling?
So the nuns said that they were sorry to the church and they're not going to be pursued as criminal charges.
Wait,
because
really?
they said sorry. Yeah, they repented. Yeah.
Damn, that was fast.
They repented to God.
Wow.
And now they're free.
She should have just murdered a person. She could have got away from that.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
My apologies.
pretty sure that gambling is on a different level than killing someone.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm saying, they did a crime. So if they're going to do a crime, they should have went all out. You know what I'm saying? Should have went to a bank, robbed all the money, Went on a joyride, sped, all that good stuff. Snorted some coke,
Apparently, some of the money that they won from gambling, they put it back into the school, and then the rest was used for personal gain, quote unquote.
See, some of it was for good times, and also for good use, Put it back in the schools, I mean, yeah, I used some for me, but hey,
I wonder how did they book a trip to Vegas? Like, what were they gonna say? We're going to visit our Aunt Jana.
We're gonna meet Sister Maggie.
Yeah.
Over there in Vegas. Yeah. So.
They just happen to live in Las Vegas.
And we need first class seats, please.
Sorry, I don't know why I got so quiet. Okay, this is out of Metro Lifestyle. They always post like the weirdest shit.
I'm sure it's not gonna be the last time we hear from them.
Experts warn of the risks of putting
Baubles
in your beard. So basically, there's this trend going on where men put like Christmas lights in their beard and then they light it up and take pictures. And this is just a warning that you can get electrocuted.
Oh, it's a good thing I can't grow a beard. Not that would do this trend anyway. I mean, what classifies as a trend? I mean, seriously, is it because more than one person does it? I mean, what is it?
I don't know. And then people are putting like Christmas ornaments in their beard.
Yeah, I need to go to work today. But first, let me put these Christmas lights in my beard.
Oh, it says if you put Christmas ornaments in your beard, you may not be able to grow it back.
So wait.
Might be, if you get electrocuted, you might not be able to grow it back.
But what if you didn't get electrocuted? Your beard's still not going to grow back? How is that even possible? Like, oh, you put these ornaments in your beard. It's too heavy. Now your beard's like, you know what? We can't grow anymore.
Well, okay, look. It says if you tie your beard into a light ponytail for a prolonged amount of time, that could also result in hair loss.
Really?
Because in order to make them, like, the ornaments stick, you have to put it in a hair tie at the bottom to keep the ornaments staying. So, I think it's just hilarious that they had to consult a doctor to write this story. Like, this is supposed to be some serious story.
Well, you know what they say. They put Christmas lights and ornaments in their beard. The next thing that guys are going to do, they're going to start putting in their pubic hair.
Are you getting ideas or something? Oh, no. Oh, my God. Here, wait. Sorry, I just saw this. I'm probably going to post this on Twitter. This is so dumb. Oh, my God. Okay,
this
sorry.
is great. Can't wait.
Is hiring only male Santa impersonators discrimination against women?
Women already have a clause. Mrs. Claus. I mean, come on. So, no, wait. I mean, we got to make Santa Claus a lady, so now we're going to have to call her Fanta Claus.
Oh, I get it. They want her to be called Merry Christmas. Get it? Merry.
Oh my God.
Christmas?
Sweet Mary Joseph.
Okay, so the article actually said that it's not discrimination because one of the requirements is to be male. So it's okay to hire based on gender. But, I mean, what if the woman, like, biological woman, decides that she's a male, but she doesn't decide to change anything about herself? So then she ends up looking like a woman? Is that discrimination then?
Okay, so for any
Like Lauren
5-year-olds
Southern?
and anyone younger than 12 are listening, I'm sorry to tell you, but Santa Claus is not real. Okay,
Wow.
so if
Why
we're
would
gonna
anyone be younger
okay,
than 12?
so if we're gonna talk about fictional characters, I want everybody that wants to play Tomb Raider, yes, men included. If you want to play Lara Croft, then go on ahead and audition. Okay, so if there's a new movie coming out for Lara Croft, because I know they had one just come out recently, and they do auditions, just wait. Men can also audition. So now instead of being named Lara Croft, they're gonna be called, I don't know, Luke Croft or Lucas Croft or something like that, you know, because, I mean, why not? It's fictional. Who gives a shit?
Oh my god. So they actually... I applaud them for doing their due diligence, but it's just kind of silly to think about this, but the councillors of County Durham, I guess in the UK, they had a council meeting that talked about whether Santa Claus should be a male or not. Like, yeah, these are the important issues. Not any of the other stuff that's going on in the UK right now, but that is the important issue.
Well, isn't his real name Saint Nick or Saint Nicholas? I mean, what are they
Saint Nicholas.
I mean, what are they gonna change it
Well,
to?
they're calling him Father Christmas.
Well, I mean, they have Mother Nature, so I mean, you know, I don't see any men complaining. But why can't they name it Brother Nature? I mean, come on.
Apparently, in New Zealand, a man who is playing Santa Claus in the farmers' Auckland, I don't know how to pronounce that, Auckland Christmas parade, was fired after he commented that women could not fit the role.
Well,
and then they went into the law. Are you kidding me? It says,
by the way, folks, this is a fictional character. I'm sorry for all those 25-year-olds out there who believe that Santa Claus is real.
So it says that based on the law, women should be allowed to be Santa Claus.
Wait, there's a law that says that women have to play Santa Claus?
No, it's based on like employment roles.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
But you can. It said like it is legal to advertise like when you're looking for Santa Claus. I mean, not when you're looking. I mean, like when you're looking for Santa Claus to play at your mall or something. You can say that it's only male, and you won't be like persecuted or something.
I guarantee you, any family that sees a female Santa Claus, they're gonna be like, "Where's Santa Claus? I don't see Santa Claus."
Well, at the end of this article, they encourage you to embrace the future, and maybe that there will be a female Santa Claus. Wouldn't it just be Mrs. Claus, or is that like oppression because she's married to a man? I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So, are there any other female fictional characters out there that men should play? And I can't really think of any other than Lara Croft at the moment.
How about Wonder Woman just become
there you
Wonder
go.
Man?
I think Chris Pine, who was in the Wonder Woman movie, I think he should play Wonder Woman. I mean, why not? Equality.
Is there a Wonder Man, or is there only a Wonder Woman?
Well, there's Batman, Superman, Spider-Man,
But there's
Aquaman.
no Wonder Man? Well,
I mean, Mr. Fantastic.
but men are evil though, so you can't let them play the same things. We just have to replace everybody with women.
Daredevil. Luke Cage.
Okay, well, I'm going to go on with the last story that we had. That other one was just, like, I just saw it at the bottom of the other article.
Good one.
Okay, this one's funny. Okay, this is from the New York Post. I mean, they're almost pretty much like a tabloid because they cover weird, they look for weird news stories,
Yeah.
but all of them are true. Like, they just repost them. But anyway.
And they're a legit news
They're a news right?
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Mom cancels baby shower after family makes fun of son's name. Okay, so apparently she did like one of those gender reveal parties where she tells people what the name is and the gender is.
You know what? You know what a good gender reveal party would be? If she calls them and be like, "Hey, so my new baby, it's a boy. Okay, there you go. Party over."
Well, okay, they didn't care about that part, but this is apparently people are still making fun of her for posting about it on social media, and I'm sorry, but, like, please don't name your kids, like, really weird names. Like, please.
Like, what does she name him? Chair?
No, this is his name. His name is gonna be Squire Sebastian Senator.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So she named his son SS.
No, it's SSS.
Snake.
No, her first name, his first name is Squire Sebastian.
Oh my god, what is he, a fucking knight in shining armor?
I don't know, and his last name is Senator.
Man, she is really narrowing his choices in terms of what he can be as a job.
Well, she got super defensive saying, why are people making fun of my unborn child? How dare you? It's like, well, you are, like, setting him up for a life of shame.
Squire.
Can you
Hello,
imagine
Squire. How are you today? Hello, Squire. Man, that 20-year-old's going to have a lot of depression and probably going to be high on coke.
Can you imagine being like, I mean, even the last name's pretty bad already. Like, Mr. Senator, what do you think about...
Oh my god. Now we're making fun of this kid. I'm sorry. I mean, the jokes write themselves. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
You mean the mom writes the jokes
herself. Oh,
herself.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean Sebastian is the most normal name, but, I mean,
Even Sebastian, what the fuck?
I mean, it's better than Squire and Senator.
Yeah, but what do you call him if his name is Sebastian? Hey, Sab, you want to come over?
Sab, I mean, I don't know. It's the most normal of the three. Hello, Squire. Mr. Senator, will you please sit down on your chair, please? Hey, Sebastian. What are you, Black Butler or something? That's an anime reference.
Isn't that an anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squire, what do you have your own castle or something?
Well, what nickname would you have if your name was Squire? Squee?
I don't know. Court Jester.
Yeah, but it would just be CJ for short.
CJ. Hey, there you go. Those are good names. CJ. Should have named your son CJ, lady.
I know, right? I mean, if you're gonna give your name, if you're gonna give your name. If you're going to give your kid a weird or unique name, the best way to do it is to have, like, a first and middle name that come out as, like, a modern sounding name. Like, for example, if you want to name your kid, like...
Oh, really?
I don't know, Mademoiselle... I don't know, like, okay. You name your kid something weird, but you make it so the initials come out as a normal sounding modern name.
Mm.
So, like, you end up with the initials MJ, because that sounds normal.
Right.
Or CJ or something like that. But then your name can actually be something really weird. Because then the kids will make fun of you if you say your name's CJ. Like, they'll just be like, oh, okay. To end off that article, she said no matter how many people ridicule her, she's not going to budge about that name. And, quote, she said, "This is the name that I was meant to give him. This is how it will be. He will not be allowed to have a nickname, and he is to be called by his full and complete first name." Wait, so that is the first name? Wait. Oh my god, that's the first... That whole thing is the first name. Squire Sebastian Senator is the first name.
What was the last name? The last name Smith.
I don't know. Someone kill me now. I can't handle this.
Well, you know what they say. My body, my choice.
What are they going to call him? Senator for short? And then if you call him that, then you're going to get in trouble because you're supposed to call him his full name?
It's senator, not congressman, okay? It's senator. Jeez.
We can stop making fun of unborn children now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel terrible. I'm going to take a shower after this.
I don't feel bad.
Oh, well.
All right, well, that's enough of that. I'm going to go and cook dinner now because,
Gender roles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we'll see you guys next week then.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, bye.
Now you know what's happening. Thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, go to hapasupremacy.com and follow our social media. Have a great day.